know about anybody else, but for me, I feel like there's a thin line in this notion that lots of money equals happiness. And I think people have this thing that if you have, billions of dollars or millions or whatever, that it's everything, is okay. You're happy and all that. I do not dispute the fact that money brings in, you can pay for certain things with money. You can pay for trips, you can pay for, bills, you can pay for that nice life or whatever, right? But I do not believe that it can actually buy you happiness. Like, that is one thing I do not believe in totally, that money can buy you happiness. I think the quickest way, you can find unhappiness is if you chase money. I think people, have this thing of chasing it, thinking that's where my happiness lies. And I think if you chase it, that is when you become really miserable. And I've seen, a lot of miserable people out here with doing, things they really don't like, just because they want, to amass those total amounts of money that everyone must have. That we are brought up in a system that encourages you to chase money, right? And what I've noticed with researching the happiest, some of the happiest people and the richest people on this planet is, I noticed they're always, happy with whatever they're doing. And I think that's where the happiness comes from. Um, you say you want to have, this thing or this whatever, this house, that fancy car or whatever. But I think the greatest mistake you might make is thinking if you get those things, you will be happy. I think it's a very controversial topic, because on the other hand, some people believe it, and I do not judge anybody who believes that if you have lots of money, you will have, happiness. Happiness will be on your fingertips. And I think it's mostly about what you do. I think it's mostly about what you do for you to be happy. Maybe you're that person who doesn't like working too hard. There's people, right, who do not envy, the maybe 15 to 18 hours of work. They just envy maybe their 4 hours of work per week or per day or whatever. If you understand exactly what you do for you to get that, money, and for you to be happy, I think that's the whole, equation to this notion. I think it's more about what you do more than it is about you having that, having the amount of money you need. I think we live to work, and I think that's something people don't understand, is that we live to work. There is no point in your life that you won't be working. We just live to work. And I think you might hate it that we live to work. People might hate this, might hate that, but what you're doing most of your time is working. You understand? So if it's something you do not like, I think it's ridiculous to why you're even doing it. And I know, like, people say, we don't have, sometimes you might not have the means to, explore that, what you love to do, right? And I understand that. So there are certain things that people need to do, right, to get to that point where they love what they do, right? So, but I think the only point to that too is that if you do not find something you enjoy doing while you're working, because we live to work, I think you are in a very vulnerable position. I understand, like, for people who have gotten those responsibilities, and you now have those responsibilities. You now have a child, you now have a family, you now have a wife, you now have car payment, you now have bills. I think for those people it might be a bit harder for you to, switch to what for you to switch into something you enjoy doing. But I think the best time for anybody to actually explore what you love to do is when you're really young. I think that's the best time you can actually get yourself into something you really love, into something you can explore. Because I don't think there's a young person who has maybe a child who has responsibilities, who has, a lot of these responsibilities, parents and guardians have. So I think if you're young, I think it's the best time for you to actually start on something that you enjoy somehow. I think if you understand that, if you find yourself doing something you like, right? If you find yourself doing something and you're not even impressed by the money in the end of the thing, in the end of what you're doing, I think you found, your perfect thing you love to do. Because I've seen people do things for free because they love doing it. And if you get to that point where you manage to do something for free for someone, and then you don't even care about the amount of money you'll be getting or whatever. I'm not saying you let people take advantage of you, right? But I'm just saying that if you find yourself doing something for free and then you find yourself happy doing that thing too, I think that is exactly where you should focus on, get your tunnel vision on, and then block out each and everyone who tries to, make you deviate off that path. I think there's a lot of people who have been, forced into certain things because because by some people, right? You've been forced into doing maybe that course or whatever. You're forced into doing it because they tell you that it has money in the end. And for me, really, like, if that is your blueprint, I think you're very much in trouble. I'll take this, example. I like to, give myself sometimes of saying, if what I think, right, coming from me is, I think if everybody was given, $1 million to start off, if we all were given $1 million to start off, right, each and every 8 billion of us on this planet, if we were given $1 million to start off our lives, I think the same people in our society who are still at the top, will rise to the top, and then the same people who are still at the bottom will stay at the bottom. And I know, people might, think that that's a crazy way to think of it, but I've really started to understand what that means. It's because the people who you see who are at the top, they actually enjoy what they do. And I think I'm not sure of it exactly, but I've seen that most people at the top, they enjoy what they do. they really enjoy, even if it means they have to work, ridiculous amounts of hours and do this and do that, but they just enjoy what they do. And then that continues to make them win, and that makes them innovate, and that makes them do this and that. And then those people who continue to go at the bottom is, if you find $1 million, if you found $1 million right now, right? I think the majority of us will actually, find a way to make expenses out of it. To incur more expenses from that million, That's why, you find, people who win the lottery, and then by a year that money is gone. So I think it's that you need to understand exactly where you are headed. Understand, our mindsets are different, and for me, this is what my thoughts are on this. Lots of money equals happiness. That I do not necessarily think that if you have lots of money, you will be happy. I actually am against that notion that if you have lots of money, you will be happy. I'm against it. And if you are for it, I do not judge anybody who thinks a lot of money will bring them happiness. I do not judge anybody who thinks, a lot of materials lead to being happy. We are all different. But for me, my thoughts on this, I don't think I would need, to be happy with having, I don't think having lots of money will equal to my happiness, which is why, for me, which is why, I took on the task of building, into the house. It was all because of that I'm still in the process of finding what exactly I love to do. And for now, I've been doing, into the house for now, like I think I'm 9 months in or 8 months in, and the ROI of Intel House has been happiness. Or we might not be making, the money. We might not, even be, we might not even be making the money. We might not even be the best thing on this planet. We might not even be recognized by anybody out there. But for me, the happiness of going out and trying to make it work without knowing anything, sometimes with what you're actually doing, and just sort of going after it, it's been amazing for me doing that. The problems I've incurred here and there, problems I have managed, to fight off, the trying to manage people. I'm still trying to learn the difficulty of trying to get clients. It's very, I like the way, it makes me feel. I like doing it because this is where I'm actually beginning to see some bits of happiness popping here and there. Because sometimes I just sit and think to myself, what the heck am I doing? Found myself being so happy sometimes that I'm doing this, and something might come out of it. You never know. Tomorrow I might wake up with posting a video that Intel House is no more. I found something else. So it's that journey for me is the joy I've actually begun. It's the joy of, for me, the joy of waking up in the morning, thinking to myself today, thinking to myself, I have to walk like 14 kilometers today to, shoot just a video for YouTube. It's just, that process. Although sometimes sometimes you get to a point where it starts affecting you like physically, sometimes I'll be really tired, but the moment I wake up tomorrow I'll be like, damn, let me go after it today too, because I really, I've really started liking doing this, because I really do not know exactly what's happening, but I enjoy what I do. So I think for me, I understand the notion now is clear to me that for me, I do not need lots of money. I do not have lots of money in my present moment, but I am very much. I can attest to myself that I am very much happy at where I am right now. So for me, like the equation at the end of the day for me is, I think happiness equals what you do. Point of this is of life rather is to, when you put your head down to sleep tonight, just ask yourself the question, am I happy? Thanks for tuning into this week's video. I hope I get a like from you. I hope to get a comment as to what you think of this notion that lots of money equals happiness.